And that, I think, is what is ultimately the biggest difference with today's professional wrestling and the traditional mindset. And I will say, because the comparison's been made between John Cena's final match and then what they did last year in AEW with Sting, where not only did Sting, in his mid-60s, get to go out on top, he got to go out defending as one of the half of the World Tag Team Champions of Darby Allin. And I will say that in that case, they made the right call, because Sting is on a different level than everybody else at that moment, especially in AEW, which is still a growing company. It's still a growing company, and they're on their way up. And Sting just being there and loaning his presence to that company elevates it to an amazing status. Hi, Ken. We love you, Ken. I got another gig on Friday. So, to me, it's a false equivalency, between John Cena's retirement and Sting's retirement. Because Sting had retired multiple times. Sting retired, putting guys over at the end of WCW. When he came in and helped prop up TNA, and he was their world champion for a time or two, he put over multiple people on his way out of that company there. So he'd already done the honors on the way out. Sting's time in AEW was kind of like living the impossible dream, the final hurrah. He had no singles matches. His entire job there was to help elevate everybody else around him, have a couple of one-on-one, first-time matches with people he never had the opportunity to get in there with before, and to bring Darby Allin up to the next level. So in that case, I think AEW did the absolute right thing, where they had a sold-out house in Greensboro, North Carolina, probably not 20,000, but it was like 12 or 13 for sure. But if on that night they had laid out Sting and they'd pinned him or they'd made him submit, that crowd would have turned on the company. Not Sting. Wouldn't have put the heat on the Young Bucks. They would have turned on the company. And that, I think, is what is ultimately the biggest difference with today's professional wrestling and the traditional mindset.